That's weird. I see what these other YouTubers go through. Just mutes itself. Weird. Is that any better? You can hear? That's weird. I see what these other YouTubers go through when they're just in mid live for some reason. It just mutes itself. That's odd. You have to restart to fix it. So I was saying before, I'm just out here doing some early pre-bass spawn fishing. There's some bait fish up here on the shoreline right now. Good sign. There's some bluegill. A couple of them over here, but I still think it's still too early. I'm going to be getting the kayak out here soon and chasing the channels out here in this pond, doing some bass fishing. Got about 4 or 5 rods I'm running right now. So yeah, I definitely still think it's a little early for bass to be up this close up here. Usually around mid-May, there's tons of bass just sitting right here on this shoreline right here. And I almost catch them all the time. But that's usually after, the first week of May or whatever. So more than likely, I'll probably be getting the kayak out, which I'll be doing a lot of that this spring anyway, just being around the kayak. This is one of my favorite locations here to fish for bass. It's also almost one of the select few out of a lot of good places that we got here to get any service to do live. So this will probably be where I'm doing a lot of fishing the most, as you'll see. We'll probably be here. That's weird though that it just mutes itself all of a sudden. We had a lot of good rain yesterday. It's a little foggy. Sprinkling a little bit right now. Good fishing. That's my phone over here. Hook Life is a good spot. Yeah, I love nothing more than going out fishing. It's just hard to go live because I don't have like a lot of spots around here that have good service. I'm gonna be trying to look at other locations, that are outside my area that have service. I mean, I do love this pond. This is one of my favorite spots to go to as far as for bass. There's tons of pike in here. There's really big pike in here. Someone just pulled out a pretty good size one over the winter, so I just figured I'd just come out here every couple days, pop a live off from the bank. I'll be getting the kayak out here, like I was saying, here soon, so and hopefully be out there chasing the pre-spawn. There's a couple other people here the other day out there in boats and kayaks and stuff, caught a couple small bass, so you made me a manager mod. Yeah, I did that on purpose. Try to mod up the most people that I can in the chat so they can all interact with each other and subscribe to everyone. So, and I know who you are, so. One of the reasons I was a little hesitant about getting the kayak out is I just got a new phone last year, and I'm still waiting on my kayak mount bracket for my rails on my kayak to mount my phone. So when I'm going live from the kayak, I'm not having a risky setup where my phone's gonna fall in the water. So I'm still waiting for that to come in so I can mount my phone to the bracket on the rails on the kayak. So just don't want to drop my friggin' phone in the water. But we out here. Nice morning out. Yeah, it's definitely going to be in the high 70s today. We had a lot of rain last night, and it's still kind of sprinkling a little bit on and off right now. I got 3 or 4 rods out that I have right now. So I got a medium heavy throwing a bass jig with a craw for a trailer, and then this rod I'm throwing right now has a power bait rubber worm, a Texas rig with a bullet weight on the end, which I usually have tons of good luck with just throwing this almost all season long, catching bass nonstop. But I love to throw this bass jig through pre-spawn. I'm throwing a medium heavy Abu Garcia. So I got this I'm throwing on my bait caster. And then I got a couple other ones, a couple spinning reels. Plus 15 Celsius. Oh, nice, from Canada, welcome. So yeah, I got a couple that I'm throwing out right now. So I'd be shocked to catch a bass right now off the shore right now. Still be in the water, still a little cold, but I wanted to get out here, and be fishing. I couldn't wait for winter to be over. I just need to get the kayak in the water so I can chase the pre-spawn, better than sitting here from the shore. But I haven't got that out yet, and I'm still waiting on the bracket to be in for my kayak so I can go live a little easier. I am a little hesitant that I'm going to be able to read the comments probably pretty good from the kayak. I don't know if you ever did any kayak fishing. There's an awful lot going on as far as trying to make sure your poles don't fall in the water. Bass in Florida be slacking. Oh yeah. Well, they're slacking here too. I don't pre-spawn usually over here in New Hampshire doesn't usually happen until I would think at least at the end of April. That's usually when I'm able to catch bass from shore, no problem. Was just around like the first week. Had something there. Had a little something. Try to smoke the power bait there as I'm not paying attention. I don't think it was anything really other than a little bluegill over there or something. Something just ripped my worm right off. Any catfish in there? Oh yeah, there's some catfish in here. We got some bullhead. There's some big bullheads in here. Bullhead catfish, black bullheads. My wife caught one last year. A couple of them. There's bass in here. A lot of bass in here. A lot of largemouth. There's pike in here. There's bluegill in here. What else is in here? And yeah, like I said, there's a lot of bullhead in here too. hopefully that traffic doesn't bother you going with all the heavy traffic going by. Water's definitely warmer than it has been the last couple times we've been out. I can't even tell the traffic is there. Well, that's good. I know that the phone is right behind the road right here, so I didn't know if it was loud or not. Hey, how we doing? Welcome in. For everyone that's new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you can. It helps the channel. As it gets closer to spring, you guys will definitely see me catching more bass. I'll be probably doing a lot of kayak fishing, mostly, and I'll probably be doing a lot of fishing here from the bank. Like I said, it's pretty active usually here, you know, in the spring right here on this shoreline. This little cove right here by this little dam. And the bluegill are all just hang out right here. So there's a lot of bass that just kind of hang out like right around in here after the pre-spawn. I'm just kind of just out doing some fishing. You know, I know I'm probably not going to catch any bass right now, but like I said, I'm just waiting on my kayak bracket to get here so I can go live from the kayak. So just having fun right now, just testing the waters. Hey, does anybody else? I'm curious for everybody else's opinion. Does anybody else? No, there's only one in here. Is anybody else throwing a KastKing setup at all? And like what you guys think about the KastKing rod and reel combos? Because I got two. I got the Spartacus 2 that I got, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, medium heavy, and I'm throwing right now this 6-foot medium Lethal Blaze. So curious to know what you all think of the KastKing rod and reel combos. I mean, they're not too bad from what I'm, you know, from using it so far a couple times. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, there's some pretty good sized bass in here. KastKing, a good brand. Do you use any? Do you have any KastKing? Like I said, I have the Spartacus 2 and the medium heavy, and I just got the Lethal Blaze not too long ago. I mean, I don't really have any complaints as of yet. I mean, I really haven't got a whole lot of chance to use them, but I mean, from what I've experienced with them so far, that they're pretty good. I mean, I enjoy them. I mean, they cast and throw pretty nice. Good morning. How we doing? Going on, Josie? We just out messing around, Josie, this morning. Been out here since about a little after 5:30, 6 o'clock this morning. I still think it's a little too soon for pre-spawn, but we just kind of out here messing around and throwing it out there. Be getting the kayak out here soon to be chasing the pre-spawn, as I still think it's a little cold for bass to be up this close to the shoreline. But usually, like I said, the first week of May, there's tons of bass that just hang around right in this cove right here, and I never usually have a problem catching bass right here from the shore. There's tons of good sized ones that just kind of hang out all through here, like all spring long. Um, but right now, definitely still a little cold. The water seems to be warming up a little bit, so that's good. I see the bluegill are all kind of hanging out up here. During the springtime, I rarely ever have to change from this bait. Usually I have to go buy these power bait rubber worms like a ton because the bass just love them here. So, I mean, I don't really ever have to go from this to usually anything else. I mean, I do switch out from time to time, but I love using the power bait rubber worm here with a bullet weight. Sometimes I'll just let it just sink naturally without the bullet weight, but I Texas rig it, and they seem to just smeesh it here. Like around the first week of May. So that was like an awesome spot. Yeah, I usually switch out the color. I have a few different colors, but they seem to love the power bait for some reason here. Like I could just get away with just fishing this whole thing after pre-spawn, like just fishing the power bait here, rubber worm, like, and have no problems doing that. I mean, I do get bored throwing it all the time, so I'll change it up, throw a crankbait, lipless crankbait, bass jig or whatever. But they seem to just love hitting this power bait rubber worm here. So like I could almost just get away and just leave that on the whole time. Man, it's coming quick, bass angler. Yeah, not soon enough. I was chomping at the bit all winter long to be out here, so that's why I'm out here just doing some lives and just kind of messing around until I get back in the kayak, because pre-spawn still really hasn't happened. I think it's probably in effect that warm water seems to be a lot warmer than it was like the past couple of times I've been here. It was really cold, so I get in the kayak, I feel like I got a whole lot better chance of catching a bass right now anyway. Usually, like I said, come May, they're just loaded right here. I really hope that those cars aren't bothering anybody going by out there. I like that spot. Beautiful view. Yeah, it's really nice here. It just so happens to be this is like one of the very few spots that I can actually go live. There's a lot of spots here in New Hampshire, well, relatively close to me anyway, that don't really have any good service but have a lot of big bass. So this will be more often than not where you'll find me be is probably here. It's nice here. Yeah, it's supposed to be in the 70s today. We did get a lot of rain yesterday. It was sprinkling earlier this morning when I started, but it's nice now. Um, yeah. Welcome in to everyone who's new. Make sure to like, sub, and subscribe if you can. Definitely helps the channel. Just out here messing around this morning. I know I've said this a bunch of times, but we get some new people in wondering what's going on. Just out here doing some bass fishing. I think the pre-spawn is kind of in the middle of happening maybe, but I don't think there's going to be any bass this close to shore right now. As usually in first week of May, somewhere in there is loaded with bass here on the shoreline, and I tend to just catch them no problem usually from here. I'm going to be getting the kayak back out, just waiting for my my phone mount to come in for my my rails on my kayak, and be out and chase the pre-spawn here. So just kind of messing around this morning. You guys go look at my shorts. A lot of the bass that you see in my short videos are from here. So now that we seem to have some more people in the chat, what does everyone think of KastKing our rod and reel combos? Just curious. Like I said, this is my first couple of times using this medium. This is the Lethal Blaze by them, and I also just got the Spartacus 2 medium heavy. Does anybody throw KastKing, and like, what do you think of them? So far, I've been using them a couple times now, and I don't seem to have any real big problems with them, I guess. I mean, they feel like a nice rod and reel. They're pretty solid. switch out rods here. What else types of bass are in there? There's a lot of largemouth in here. I don't think I've really ever caught. I have never caught a smallmouth bass here. There's tons of pretty good sized largemouth bass in here. Like I said, if you go look at most of my shorts are all bass that I've caught from here. Like this was like one of my favorite spots to go for bass. I do have other spots that I like to go to. Just there's no service there as far as going live. So definitely there's a lot of big pike in here. Like someone just caught a massive one here over the winter time. I mean, I've caught some pike here. I've caught some 2-3 pounders here before. Are the bass. The was good eating. I haven't ate bass in a long time. But yeah, bass is all right. I mean, I've had bass a couple times. They're definitely bony though, so I don't tend to keep them. I have a few neighbors that like to eat them, so sometimes I'll catch them and give them to my neighbors. We have a catch and release down here that I think goes from, I know I'm wrong probably by a couple days. I think it goes from May 15th to June 15th. So then after that, I think you can catch and keep two per day, I think. Okay, gotcha. Didn't know if there was any. There was bass, yellow bass, rock bass. Yeah, I think there's rock bass in here. Yep. Not there's no yellow bass. I've never even heard of that before. But there is there's definitely it's definitely a lot of largemouth in here. And I think there is rock bass in here. I just haven't caught any here for a long time. I don't usually go out to catch rock bass. Usually I go out to just to catch bass. You know, rock bass are probably not gonna, because they're relatively small. They're not gonna be grabbing the stuff I throw out there. So thank you for the mod. Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, definitely anyone that's new, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely helps the channel. So I don't like saying that all the time, but bass. Like dead bait, prefer bass. I don't know. I guess it's either or. It kind of depends on, your pond and stuff. I haven't in a long time, but they like to catch live. I mean, I haven't done that here, but bluegill. I know they love bluegill. Stuff like that. They'll hit. Well, I mean, I'm usually using lures. A lot of soft plastics. Like I'll catch them on lipless crankbaits. On my medium heavy right now, I got a bass jig with a rage craw for a trailer, so they like that too. I don't really ever use live bait. I mean, I did years and years ago, but I just usually go out and throw lures and stuff like that and catch them with no problem. I think that kind of depends on your pond and whatnot. Yeah, I didn't know there was such thing as yellow bass. I might have to look that up. Yeah, we don't have those here. I think if I'm not mistaken, the ones I know we have Florida bass. I guess that's what you'd call them. No, no peacock bass. Yeah, I guess it's like a yeah, it's a hybrid bass. I guess that's been brought down to other ponds and lakes and stuff around like a lot of places. I think I've seen it. I just never caught any. I think they look like just like a regular bass, but they're called Florida bass, and they're native to like New Hampshire, I think, and a lot of other places too have them. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. The bass venture into salt water or yes. No, they have sea bass. I just don't go ocean fishing. They have stripers. I think those are, as far as what I know about them, I think they're in fresh water, but they tend to go from fresh water to salt water. Not too sure on that. Usually I just go out and do regular bass fishing, freshwater, so I catch a lot of largemouth bass. I tend to catch some pike sometimes because pike will eat a lot of the same things that bass do, but since I'm not rigged for pike, sometimes they snap your line and stuff like that because usually with pike, you fish with steel leads and stuff like that. Uh, hey, what's up, Finding Joy? How we doing? All I know is I just grew up bass fishing with my pops as a young kid. So I mean, I'm not no bass master or anything like that. So I don't claim to know all the stuff about bass and all that stuff. I just know I grew up catching a lot of bass with my father. So I just love catching bass because of the fight. You could even catch a little tiny one and feels like a 10 pounder, you know. Yeah, hey, I've been waiting all winter to be out here. So, like I said, just messing around more than anything because I don't think the bass are still yet here from shore. I'm going to be out chasing the pre-spawn, which I think is kind of probably starting to happen. I just need to get the kayak out there to chase these channels and stuff. There's a lot of really good spots out here. A lot of falling down trees, a lot of docks. So I'm just, again, waiting on that kayak bracket to come in so I have a spot to put my phone in to be able to go live and stuff. So just more or less messing around today. This is actually a semi-small pond, and yeah, we have winter and stuff here in New Hampshire. So yeah, in the winter it freezes over completely. Hey, welcome from Australia. Yeah, if you don't do any kind of ice fishing, yeah, you have a good 3 or 4 months of good solid winter and ice down here. I used to go ice fishing back when I was a kid and stuff. I tend to just wait until spring. Hey, definitely. Thank you, Josie. I appreciate it. Fortunately, I don't think you're going to see any bass today. So, like I said, I'm just out here kind of messing around until I get the kayak in the water. Like I said, I'm hoping to be doing that this week, if not the following week. As it gets closer to May, we have a lot of rain. I don't, I don't mind fishing in the rain at all. But as far as going live with my phone out in the rain, so that really kind of depends on the rain and stuff like that. But I'd like to get out there and start doing some fishing from the kayak. So. As it gets closer to like the end of April, it's usually tend to when the pre-spawn, like I feel like kind of starts to happen. So I want to be out there chasing that from the kayak and stuff like that. I'm just waiting on a bracket for my phone so I can get that in there and be able to go live and stuff. Thanks for answering my question, man. Your style of fishing is quite different to how we do things. How do you guys do things over there? Like, what do you guys fish for over there? I think you said you're from Australia. I would assume that'd probably be different. Guys, look, the first fish of 2026. Today. I really hope that traffic isn't too loud for you guys. Can you guys hear me at all? I want to double check and make sure there's sound. I had to restart my live over an hour ago because I guess the sound got muted or something like that. Hey, I fished 3 hours the other day. I caught one bass. Hey, that's awesome, Josie. Were you fishing from the bank? Am I in your way? George? Can you guys fish from the dam, the water?
Put them all at once and they raise up.
How does it get a tie?
I mean, there's only
I knew it looked a little low though. I know the other day I was down here. Yeah, they're out here fixing the dam this morning because the water level is still a little low for this time of year, so they have to put a couple of boards in over there at the dam. Right, that's right here. You guys probably here to raise the water up. So I better drive my girls to school. Hey, thank you, Josie. I appreciate it. Probably got another half hour, guys, before I end it. Been out here since 6 this morning. I didn't really plan on doing a live. My phone battery was definitely not fully charged, so I've been out here, yeah, since 6 this morning. It's 8 now here, so I'll probably be another half hour or so, and then I'll probably be back out here. I'd like to think the next time I go live, I'll probably be out here in the kayak, so. Lucky fish dance. I do a lucky fish dance with my child when fishing. It's where it works. So doing that now for you, hey man, that's cool. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna be catching a bass today, but hey, you never know. And I still think it's too early. So usually when I come here, first week of April, mid-April, like usually I catch them when I show up here about 5:30, 6 in the morning. So usually I have one or two by now, but bucket's rising already?
It's rising already?
Holy shit.
Water on the bottom, I set the hook on the inside. And when I do the other one, alright. No, because what happens is when they dry, the trench, when they go wet, they fold up.
Yeah, Australia, we fish for native bass on top water. North. Yeah, watch out for those crocodiles, yeah? What do you, when you fish for bass up there, what do you guys use? I mean, I heard you say top water. We have a lot of top waters. I used to, I mean, I still do. I love to use what's called the Chopo 90. It's a spinner bait, kind of. Well, it's a top water, but the back half spins, and it has two treble hooks that hang off the top, I mean off the bottom. So I'll throw those into some light cover, you know, fallen trees or whatnot, and bass smash that. They love that. Or I use the frog. Have some luck catching them on frogs. Respect to you. I couldn't fish. I definitely would think that would make it more interesting. Having some crocodiles in the water. I've heard a lot of people say, I have a few that follow from Africa, that they talk about the crocodiles up there try to flip the kayaks or try to flip the boats. You guys have that over there or down there? Yeah, we use poppers, top water, underwater spinner baits. High side boats. But we do a lot of that same fishing down here, except without crocodiles. I mean, as far as top water spinners, spoons, frogs, stuff like that. Jitterbugs. Love a jitterbug. Throwing a jitterbug at night usually. Right now I'm just throwing a soft plastic Texas rig rubber worm, and I got over here, I got a bass jig with a raised craw. So tend to be about this time of year. I love using the bass jig. Then usually, I mean, I have no problems with they love it here, using a Texas rig, a bullet weight, power bait rubber worm, and I mean, I almost just could stay using that the whole springtime and into summer, and like they just love that. So I mean, I do tend to switch up to other things as I get bored from throwing that over and over and over again. Sun's out today, boy. Nothing compared to the crocodiles though, but we do have snapping turtles that, depending on where you're fishing. There's a couple spots that I fish that have snappers and stuff in them, so definitely not as dangerous as crocodiles though. A lot of our lures are from the US, so pretty similar, but the looks of it. Hey, not a lot of people in here right now, but I've been asking this question when I seem to get a bunch of people. Does anybody throw Cast King? I've heard of them. Like, they've been out for a while, and I ended up getting a few bait casters from them, and I mean, I kind of enjoying them so far. I didn't know what anybody else thinks. Like right now, I'm throwing it's a 6-foot medium. This is the Lethal Blaze by Cast King. No sponsorship, but then I also got the Spartacus tube. That's a medium heavy. That's about a 7-foot. So I've thrown that a couple times. I mean, I guess I'm enjoying them so far from the few times I've used them. Slowly starting to pack it up here. I've been out here since 6 this morning. It really wasn't doing live, but I wanted to go live, so my phone wasn't really charged all that much, so it's pretty dead right now. I just wanted to get out here and mess around. As like I said, the pre-spawn I think is kind of starting to happen, but they're definitely not here as where I catch them all the time. And I also catch them from out there too, but not this soon I usually do. Looks like a nice reel, mate. Put them down here. The Abu Garcia, I have a medium heavy Abu Garcia, Jordan Lee, I think it is, baitcaster combo. I was just throwing. I usually throw my bass jigs and stuff on that. I like that. I like that reel a lot. Using braid line? No, I was using 15, I think 15-pound mono. I have a pull designated just for my braid, so that's why I got the Spartacus 2 medium heavy. So I'm running. I know it's a bit overkill. The people, I don't think certain people don't tend to get it, but I'm running 40-pound braid on my Spartacus 2, especially with a lot of the dense cover that we have around here. You know, people think it's overkill for bass, but people don't understand that you're dragging them out of trees and out of the cover, so you need that strong line. So I use my Spartacus 2 for my braid stuff and all that. Campfires and dirty tires. How we doing? I seen you guys going live a couple times. I try to get in when I can. We're just about wrapping it up here. Been out here since 6 this morning, so just kind of messing around more than anything. Like I've said in the live, the pre-spawn I think is maybe starting, but the bass aren't as up here at the shore yet. This is usually where I have like no problems after like mid-May, early week of May, catching bass all through this like little cove here on the bank. But I love taking the kayak out too, so I'll be doing a lot of that this spring and summer. Just less messing around right now, just coming out, throwing it in there. But I want to be chasing the pre-spawn. I'm gonna be getting the kayak here soon. I'm just waiting on a bracket for my phone to go live and stuff, to put on my rails on my kayak there. 10:30 at night. Here, mate. Thanks for the live stream. Hey, no problem. I appreciate you stopping in. Hey, for everyone that's new, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, I should be going live more and more as it gets into spring. But pretty much just getting ready, packing up, getting ready to go. I've been here since about 5:30, 5:45 this morning. It's now about 8:22. So, and my phone's about at 9 or 10% because I really wasn't planning to go live. I was just gonna throw a couple in and see what's going on, but then I figured I'd do a live. So. Hey, I appreciate that, man. 8:24 a.m. here in Orlando, Canada. Yeah, I think your guys is the same time here in New Hampshire. Right on. Just kind of got the car all packed up with the rods and everything, so just kind of getting ready to head out. I appreciate all you stopping in and all that. I appreciate the support. But as it turns closer to spring and as I get out and chase the pre-spawn for bass anyway, I should be catching a whole lot more. Obviously right now it's still kind of dead as far as fishing from the shore. A couple guys were down here the other day and they had kayaks and boats, caught a couple bass out there, so I never fished way. I never fished. Hey, yeah, definitely. That probably never happened, but I'd like to kind of experience that too. But as far as like going to Australia or Africa or somewhere, probably more or less isn't going to happen. But I'm sure that's pretty cool though. As in different countries, the fishing is kind of the same, but the fish are a lot different. Hey, campfires, have you guys had any luck out fishing? So we got this dam right here that they just were fixing. They had to put a board in there because the pond water, the board broke, and the pond water was really low in the shore. So they were just fixing that while I was out here, because usually the water's up a little higher. But this is like one of my main spots right here. The bass usually in the spring are all just like hanging out like right here. I think they love that dam right there, and that water going out. So they hang out up here usually. But that's usually in May that they'll be up this far. So, and there's a couple of fallen down trees you probably can't see out there, which is a good hot spot that I love here fishing. Then there's a bunch of other spots as you get further out there. There's an island that's way out there. Always welcome down in Australia, man. Hey, I appreciate that. Unfortunately, I don't think that'll probably ever happen for me, but wishful thinking. I think Jimmy Boy's caught a few. I've been catching crappie, perch over here. I'm at Michigan. Very smooth looking water right now, glassy looking. Yeah, this is like one of my favorite spots to go to. I just don't. There's a lot of spots around here, but as far as like going live, like there's no service, so I'll tend to probably do those when I'm not going live and just post my pictures and stuff when I do that. But this will probably be where you see me kind of hanging out. In a lot of videos, it'll probably be here just because this is where there's great service to go live and stuff. So that's cool. Catching crappie. I never really been into, catching like I know a lot of people like love catching bluegill and stuff like that. I've always been a bass fisherman myself. Yeah, I catch pike too. I don't usually intentionally catch them, but they tend to eat the same things as bass do. So you catch them from now and again if they don't end up snapping your line, depending on where you hook them. But hey, I'm going to be heading out, guys. I appreciate y'all stopping in and everything. I should be going live more as it gets closer to spring. The next time I'm probably going to go live is probably out from the kayak. Don't quote me on that, but that's my hope. I appreciate you guys all stopping in, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you. I appreciate it.